Hi, I'm Tom Jones, and welcome to another free art lesson. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're at Art of the Carolinas. This is an exciting week for us. This is the largest gathering of artist students, teachers, and vendors from around the world, and we're really excited to be here. Stay tuned. I want to show you a simple way of doing trees in winter. You're probably very familiar with all the green trees and autumn trees that I've done in my videos and free art lessons. I want to show you a simple way or a simple approach to doing trees in winter. So stay with me on this. I'm going to take and mix up a little bit of my yellow ochre, and I'll also mix up just a little touch of my burnt sienna. And I'm going to simply put in an area of color much like this. See how simple this brush stroke is? All I'm doing is I'm just pulling up some color, like so, and I'm using basically some browns, burnt sienna, and yellow ochre for this lesson plan. And this is how simple it can be. Let me give a little bit of a top to a couple of the areas up here of what might be a tree area, because in winter, as you know, when the trees start to turn in color, some of the trees retain some of these winter leaves throughout the season, and they are sort of a rusty look and so forth. So let me just go ahead and put in a couple of little splatters like so, just to create a little texture to it. And then what I want to do is I want to dry this, and I'm going to show you how we come back in and we'll put in some tree trunks and make this look like a very realistic area of tree or a forested area of winter trees. All right, it's completely dry, and it must be for what I want to do next. We're going to put in the look of some tree trunks and so forth, and we're going to have a little fun with that. So all I have to do is I'll come in, I'll pick up a little bit of my quinacridone rose, a little bit of my sienna, and a little bit of my my yellow ochre, some of these earthy colors that you get in winter. And what we'll do is we'll start putting in the look of some tree trunks, just to keep it simple. Now again, it doesn't look much like trees at this point, but as we go along here, you'll start to see that it starts to look like trees. And again, you'll get these interesting colors in the winter time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my quinacridone rose, a little bit of my mixture of yellow ochre, and a little bit of the burnt sienna, and we'll just come in and we'll just do a little bit of scrubbing on here with the side of my brush. It will help create the illusion of some of these leaves still left on these winter trees. And then we'll lift out a little color as well. We'll come in and lift a little color and create another illusion for you. Just a little splatter here and there. Bring the tree trunk down a little bit farther. Some of them we can come down a little farther in the scene. And again, it's nothing fancy. I'm just using, in this case, I'm using my script brush. Some trees are closer, some are farther away. And then we'll put in, basically, let me dry it one more time. We'll come in, we'll put a little bit of a foreground in here, and then we'll put on some finishing touches for you. Now it's completely dry, and let me show you how we'll put some finishing touches on this. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to lift out maybe a little color just to give you a little choices on the look of some of the tree trunks and so forth. So we can come in with just water on my brush. We can come in and just lift out some color in a couple of areas, like so. You can see where I've lifted out color here. Maybe a couple of areas here we'll lift out just a little bit of color to give a little contrast. So I have lighter and darker colors going on here. Maybe a couple in that area, just one more. See how we lift out to give you a little contrast going on? Let's take and put a little bit of ground underneath this thing. We'll just have a little bit of a area where we've got the ground going on here to anchor some of the tree trunks. And then maybe just a little bit more of a darker color going on in the tree area, just for a couple of areas. And all of a sudden it takes on that cold look of those winter trees that you have in the North Country. So have a little fun with this idea. Just a little bit more splatter for those trees. A couple of more little tree trunks going on here and there. A little darker ones here and there, some lighter, some darker. Gives you a little contrast as to what's going on. And it's a very simple way of approaching and doing a scene that has some winter look to the foliage rather than always just painting the green trees. I hope you've enjoyed this little lesson plan. Thanks for joining me. Check out my website, tomjonesartist.com, or email me at tom@tomjonesartist.com. Thanks for joining me today.